What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be reviewing The Adventures of Sharkboy and Lavagirl. It's from 2005 and it's directed by Robert Rodriguez, so let's get into it. Just a warning, this is going to be a spoiler review for the movie. The movie came out years ago, but I still have to say the warning just so you don't watch if you haven't seen it. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's a big help. Anyway, let's get into it. So this is certainly an interesting movie. Back in the day when this came out in 2005, I really enjoyed it. I watched it endlessly on TV. I think it aired on Nickelodeon. I'm not certain on that, but it was something like that. This was really one of my favorite movies to watch as a kid, along with the Spy Kids movies. Obviously, they're also directed by Robert Rodriguez when he kind of got on his kid movie run there in the early 2000s. When I rewatched it the other day, it certainly doesn't hold up as well, but I still found many of its elements enjoyable. I tend to love movies that are made for kids. I'm able to embrace kind of like the cheesiness and like how over the top they are, and I just have a good time watching them. They're almost like a guilty pleasure movie for me. This movie is really no different. But before we get to reviewing it, let me just kind of briefly go over the plot. So the plot of this movie is essentially Max is the main character, and he has dreams, and he records them in a book, his dream journal. And he dreams about like a fictional planet called Planet Drool and superheroes that are obviously Sharkboy and Lavagirl. But he believes his dreams are real. Everybody else tells him that they're not real, and that he has to grow up. So then one day at school, while the tornado is happening right next to the school, I guess they don't have tornado warnings in wherever they live. But anyways, Sharkboy and Lavagirl show up at school, and they take Max away to Planet Drool, and he has to really save the planet because it's dying of like, I think it's the darkness is overcoming it or something like that. And he has to learn who he is and his powers, kind of a generic superhero trope there. It's really the plot of the movie. I don't need to go over the ending. So obviously if you made it this far, you know the ending. Obviously there's twists and turns along the way that shake up the plot as you'd expect from a movie like this. And the movie has a fun cast, kind of like a nostalgic cast, like Taylor Lautner's in there, George Lopez, David Arquette, as well as all these other people that don't do anything anymore. It's a really fun time. The main villains in the movie are Linus, or Minus, as George Lopez calls him, and that's his name on Planet Drool. Apparently Max dreams of him as that. And George Lopez is, or Mr. Electric, or Mr. Electricidad, whatever you want to call him, are the main villains of the movie. And they're alright. Once again, I'll go back to this a lot, but it's what you expect from a movie like this. And before we review it, let me just say that, like, I get this movie is purely made for kids. It's purely made to entertain kids. Robert Rodriguez, when he made this, was not trying to win any Oscars or anything. He wanted this movie to be for kids. He wanted to make this movie for his kids. And that's really the intention of this movie. I'm very aware of that, and I really do appreciate that. But still, I can have some fun reviewing it and talking about the bad aspects of it. But overall, I really do actually enjoy this movie. Obviously it's got a lot of issues, but it's still, for me personally, it's super fun to watch. The plot is an intriguing one, with obviously Max and Sharkboy and Lavagirl going to a planet, and he really can dream whatever he wants. Towards the end of the movie he can, and I really enjoy that concept. I really think that's a cool superhero idea. I don't know if Marvel or DC has anything like that, but where someone can really dream their own superpowers, I think that's a cool concept. And really the concept of this movie, I really think could have been made into a better like drama type movie. Obviously Robert Rodriguez wanted to do like a cheesy kids movie, but I really do think the concept is there for a very good movie. Anyways, the movie has plenty of funny moments, like at the end when George Lopez's character, Mr. Electric, he yells at Linus while the tornado's happening. That scene's hilarious. You know what scene I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. It's just, the whole movie is filled with intentional and unintentional funny moments. And like I mentioned with the unintentional funny moments, Taylor Lautner, as a like 8-year-old, gets a scene where he sings Max to sleep. And that scene's pretty hilarious. I don't know if it was supposed to be funny, but it certainly is humorous. And even this movie, some of the action scenes are alright, like I think the battle at the end with Max and Linus, or the Daydreamer and Minus, as I like to go by it. It's kind of fun to watch. It's kind of fun to watch two people who can like dream their own superpowers go at it. It's stupid with like the brains and everything, and Linus gets a big head. But it's fun. I thought this movie actually has some pretty good messages, like believing in yourself and like finding your true self, and like kind of just dreams or the positivity of dreaming. And the messages in this movie are really clear, as it's a kid's movie and it's very much for kids, but I still enjoy it. But like I mentioned, the best thing about this movie is just how entertaining it is. I'm not bored once while watching this movie, and that's really the main purpose of movies. I think that's commonly forgotten. The main purpose is to entertain you. And yes, I grew up watching this movie and I'm super nostalgic for it, and I completely get if you're an older person and you watch this movie for the first time, you're probably gonna think it's the worst movie ever made. But still, I just simply enjoy watching this movie. It's a fun adventure. Even if it has some issues, I'm able to look past them. But speaking of issues, let's talk about them. So you really could write an essay on the issues this movie has. So I'm going to try to make this kind of brief. The acting in this movie isn't great. I don't hold too much against the kids in the movie, since they're kids. Kids in a kids movie, you don't expect much from them. But even adult acting is spotty at times. There's just nothing compelling about the performances in this movie. The main kid, Max, he has a good scene towards the middle when Lavagirl dies. His acting's all right. But other than that, Taylor Lautner, he was never that good of an actor. But it's just, there's nothing to brag home about the acting. Similar to the Spy Kids movies, I'm going to reference those a lot because they're very similar to the Sharkboy and Lavagirl. This movie is intentionally cheesy, or at least it feels that way. Like the CGI is terrible. Like when the ship lands on Planet Drool at the beginning of the movie, there's like a splash like mud and slime. It's terrible. It doesn't look remotely like it's real. And like along that same note, like and this movie just really feels like under-edited, like the production quality is not super high. Like at the end when the tornado hits at the school and George Lopez's daughter is walking towards Mr. Electric, in the background you can see like the school class with George Lopez and Max and everything. But all the actors except Max are stunt doubles, or I don't know what they are. Maybe they're stunt doubles, but none of them are the original actors except for Max. He looks like he's original. He might not. He might be just a look-alike, but it looks like it's Max. But that's not really the issue. The issue is that they don't look remotely like who they're supposed to be. For example, the guy who was supposed to look like George Lopez had like a beard. George Lopez does not have a beard in the movie. So that was kind of weird. Once again, like I mentioned, it's under-edited, kind of underproduced. They didn't really put a lot of effort into that, which is fine. Once again, it's a kid's movie. But, you do notice these things as you get older. And I thought some of the overall like concepts of the movie are dumb. Like I thought the concept of like Sharkboy and Lavagirl stupid. Like, who wants a superhero that looks and acts like a shark? He's got like shark teeth and he's got like rotten fish on him. Like that's not really appealing to me. Even like Lavagirls is not that cool. And also another kind of weird note on this movie, it has like a really dreary tone. Like especially at the beginning, like the sets just like feel dark. There's like a tornado and a storm happening. I know it's supposed to be like the darkness and all that, but it's just really weird that they chose to do that. And this movie just has like this depressing vibe throughout the entire movie, not just the beginning. Like even Planet Drool's kind of just depressing. It's a kids movie, and it's like you think it would be a little happier. Like, even at the end, it ends quickly after everything's solved and everything goes back to normal the way it should be. So I just thought that was kind of weird for the movie this is trying to be. So that's the negative stuff. Once again, I could go on a lot longer about it. You could almost do like a scene by scene breakdown of this movie and just break down everything negative about this movie, because there's a lot. But I do think a lot of it was intentional, that this movie was really just supposed to be a simple kids movie. Robert Rodriguez wanted to make it this way, and I think really it came out the way he wanted it to be. But anyways, at the end of the day, I do have fun watching this. I've said it many times, that I just enjoy watching it despite its many flaws. This movie is obviously meant for children, so it's hard to hold too much against it, like the cheesiness or how over the top it is. But I have so much fun watching it. I grew up watching it. And it's so fun to just revisit it. I couldn't watch it every day of the week, but I really, watch it every few years and just embrace the nostalgia that I get from it. So on a scale of 0 to 100%, I'm going to give it a 72. That might seem high, but like I just have fun with this movie. It's hard to give it a bad score. And for overall value, I'm going to give it a C+. In terms of a recommendation, I would recommend it to younger audiences. Or if you have kids, or if you're like me and you grew up watching it and you're just going to have a blast, just kind of making fun of it and enjoying it, that's who I would recommend it for. And that will do it for my review of the adventures of Sharkboy and Lavagirl. Stay tuned. I'm going to be reviewing We Can Be Heroes, the Netflix sequel, the long-awaited sequel, Really surprised we didn't get one back in like 2007 or something. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's a huge help. Anyways, thanks for watching.